That's why I said at the beginning of this, you got to bring your hard hats here because that guy right there matches that energy. And you may say, well, what about Chuba Hubbard? Hubbard's out. It sounds like he's going to be out again, and it's going to be Rico Dowdle, which I think is hilarious that it matches up this way. So Cowboys are going to have to be fundamentally sound because with Rico, you know he's going to bring that physicality. You know he's going to be a balanced runner. You know he's going to bring some of that energy. We've seen it, and he's got a little burst to his game. We know Rico Dowdle. They know Rico Dowdle. That's why I said they know. I've been there for 5 years. They know who I am. Buckle up. But here's something they're going to have to do. I made fun of the Jets last week being one of the worst tackling teams. Ladies and gentlemen, your Dallas Cowboys are one of the worst tackling teams in the National Football League. This is your current starting linebacker. This unit, in regards to the defense, is tied for the third most missed tackles in the NFL. And I mean the whole defense, not just this unit, apologies, but the whole defense. And that's per PFR. If you go look at PFF, it's even uglier. Jack Sanborn leads the team, obviously, in missed tackles with 7. Kenneth Murray's right behind him with 5. Maris Leofau leads the team in missed tackle rate because he hasn't played a whole lot, but he's missing them at a higher rate than all of them. 33%. 1 out of every 3 attempts he's missing. That's pretty damn high. And then you go look at, it's not just the linebackers, defensive back. Donovan Wilson leads the team in missed tackle rate and defensive back at 25%. Reddy Stewart leads the defensive backs in missed tackles, period. Granted, though, I do think he has been one of your more solid run fill guys for the corner. So I don't really get on too hard about that. But still missed tackles, man. It's still missed tackles. And look, we had this conversation yesterday. We talked about it. While Shamar James is an incredible athlete, incredible, he's still very raw in the run game. I'll say this. I do think he's going to be your surest tackler of this team. Whenever he gets better at the run stuff, he's a pup, man. Yeah, they just need to get a bunch of at bats and hopefully that improves it. But there are some things that pop up on film in preseason and in college that you say, okay, that not only has to change, but is going to have to drastically change, right? Misdiagnosing things, hesitation, physicality, those type of things. He's a little light, so he doesn't really want to thump, jump around it a lot. But this unit misses a lot of tackles, man. And when Rico coming to town in a physical front, gotta be better. Gotta be better across the board, period. And this game was uber concerning from that standpoint. Fortunately, you win it comfortably and you say, okay, we got to be better at this off of a win, not a tie, not a loss. But again, we often talk about the how, right? Looking for baby steps with the defense. Pressure came and played well last week. Run defense has been taking a slip. Today's video is sponsored by Row. Fellas, let's keep it real. Sometimes the moment calls for you to be ready, and waiting around just isn't an option. And that's where Row Sparks comes in. Sparks are a 2-in-1 prescription treatment that dissolves right under your tongue. And once they dissolve, they work in 15 minutes on average, faster than the old school pills because they go straight into the bloodstream. That means when the vibe is right, you can actually be ready. And here's the kicker. Row Sparks has a dual action formula, which means they can stay active in your system for up to 36 hours. And no, that doesn't mean you're stuck all day. It just means when the mood strikes, your body's ready to respond. The best part, you don't have to deal with awkward doctor visits. Row connects you with a licensed healthcare provider 100% online. And if you're approved, treatment ships right to your door. If prescribed, new patients get $15 off your first order of Row Sparks on a reoccurring plan. Just head on over to row.co/Skywalker to connect with the provider and see if Sparks is right for you. Now let's get back to the video. Let's kind of get back on track. Now that play right there, if you notice, and you'll see another one. The Jets were doing something in this game that I'd have to imagine that the Panthers are going to take a look at and take a page out of. They use our aggressive nature against us, right? We're a 4-down line team. We're penetrating the gaps. We're getting upfield. We're shooting them. Get upfield, right? You saw the Jets pull the chair. Y'all remember who? I forget who it was. I believe it was, I could be having the guys mixed up. Basketball terminology again. Either Yao Ming pulled the chair or somebody pulled the chair on Yao. He was backing him down. And they pulled the chair and boom, fell on the ground. The Jets were doing that to the Cowboys a handful of times. They were just inviting you upfield and then getting right to the second level. And you saw defensive linemen on the ground, and it just wasn't great. And then when you get to the second level, you saw missed tackles, or you saw guys jumping out of lanes or weren't diagnosing. It just wasn't. It was one of their worst, I think, outings. Fortunately, they weren't able to keep running. Your offense, to stop the run game, if the Cowboys don't get back on track with it, will have to take it out of the other team's hands until the Cowboys run defense figures it out. I hope it be this week. In fact, I think if you do that this week against the Panthers and Rico Dowdle, it could breed a little bit more confidence moving forward. All right, we back. We back on this thing. So bottom line, I do think they're going to have to tighten this thing up a little bit, get back to their early year run defense. And bring their hard hats. I will say this. I don't question them doing that part, bringing their hard hats. The Panthers offensive line is going to want to brawl you. I put this out. As a matter of fact, I put it in there. Here you go. Take a look at this play from, here we go. Center Cade Mays, man. He basically just shoulder check / Jey Uso speared whoever it is. Boo! I don't know who this linebacker is. Well, watching film of their run game, and actually not a bad offensive line. That's a pretty solid offensive line in regards to talent and in the way they play. Cowboys in years past, specifically Micah Parsons, would tear up Moton in those tackles. But it's just a physical brand of football they're going to play. Now, they ain't doing anything cute, man. They're not. They're just going to get downhill. They're going to do some duo and get to the second level. They're going to run some pulls, and they're not going to be creative in how to get to it either. Just straight down, run through your face. And this play by Cade Mays just had me rolling. I had to kind of highlight this for y'all. So that second level, hey, Murray, you can't be dancing around. You get your head taken off. Shamar, you can't be dancing around, prancing around. You get your head taken off. Got to be ready. Got to be ready.